Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we have a ton of stuff to talk about regarding Battlefield 6's campaign and, more importantly in my opinion, the Portal mode. There have been a ton of separate developments, so let's get right into things. If you plan on following Battlefield 6, this is the channel for you. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and of course, leave your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section down below. One thing I do want to say before getting into the video is if you were aware of the big overblown movement drama that happened a couple days ago, I'm basically debating somebody that has the complete opposite opinion to mine, and I'll be streaming that live, so if you want to catch that, definitely swing by stream. First link in the description, and I also stream on this YouTube channel in higher quality now. 1440p with triple the bitrate looks fantastic. I'll cover Portal first because I think that's what people want to hear about first. So they released an official Portal trailer showing off some of the crazy stuff you're going to be able to do in Portal, and also some creators, I think, put out some videos regarding Portal showing off some stuff. Guys, we got Dust 2, the famous Counter-Strike map, remade in Battlefield 6 before GTA 6 releases. Just try to comprehend that for a second. The Portal trailer, which you'll watch right now, obviously heavily leans into everything you would expect. It's wacky, it's wild, it's random. They're showing off a bunch of crazy stuff you can do. There are jets flying everywhere. The thing with Portal is they needed to make it different compared to 2042, because it's clear that 2042's iteration of Portal just wasn't implemented correctly. It was abused a lot. I mean, if you go boot up 2042 right now, all you'll see is XP farming servers. And in my opinion, it is absolutely essential that Battlefield 6's Portal does not incentivize or reward that sort of server. Because if you do allow full XP, and if you do allow things like that to be created and spammed, obviously the server browser for Portal is just going to get flooded with just a bunch of unplayable slop. And I don't think anyone wants that. I think people want Portal to be something they can really go to find a unique, different experience. Now, this is some information coming from Battlefield Bulletin regarding Portal. They say, DICE says Battlefield 6's Portal will feature a learning curve for players, and therefore they will provide a few introductory guides for players, as well as several modes to learn from and to tinker around with. However, if you already have experience as a Portal creator, the builder won't include a, quote, blank canvas map to make whatever you want at launch, but it's coming sometime after release, as Battlefield Studios is still putting the final touches on it. So, okay, what we just got from that is, on release, there isn't going to be the ability to, I guess, make something from scratch. There isn't going to be a blank canvas to work with. In my opinion, that's a little disappointing, because one of the most interesting things about this version of Portal is the map editor and what can be done with that. Like I said previously, somebody has already made Counter-Strike's Dust 2. I can fully see a world where people utilize the map editor to try to recreate, for instance, Sane Crossing or Grand Bazaar or other popular Battlefield maps. But one of the most important things about the next version of Portal is stated next, quote, official creations that are similar to Battlefield's core gameplay loop, like 24/7 Rush or Hardcore Conquest, will grant the same amount of progression as if they were playing regular multiplayer modes. Let me translate that. You will get full XP for making 24/7 Rush, 24/7 Hardcore, 24/7 Conquest, or Breakthrough. Basically, if you make a normal Battlefield server, similar to the ones you would find just by playing matchmaking, you will get full XP in Portal. But here's the real kicker for this version of Portal in Battlefield 6. Quote, while creations that diverge from the traditional Battlefield formula will reward XP depending on, quote, how much time is spent in it, which decreases the risk for exploits. This is super important because you see all these XP AFK farming servers in Battlefield 2042 Portal right now, and what people are doing is they're just AFKing for God knows how long, like they're playing OSRS, with absolutely no decrease in XP over time. And because in Battlefield 6, the more time you spend in a server, I assume the less XP you get. You can't AFK XP farm, and this is meant to de-incentivize people from creating these sort of XP farm servers or anything like that. I personally hope that servers such as 1000% damage servers don't get any XP either, because in my opinion, those servers are useless slop that you shouldn't even be able to create. So I hope this system really reduces the amount of basically slop servers that are seen in Portal. In terms of how successful Portal will be in Battlefield 6, I suppose we'll just have to wait and see. I'm still very skeptical. I hope it's a success. I hope the map editor attracts a lot of people to it and people remake incredible things like Saint Crossing and other popular Battlefield maps, and even maps from other Battlefield games, and maybe even game modes from other games. Now we're going to get talking about the campaign. They released a trailer, which will be up in the background, and there have been people that have had a hands-on experience with the campaign. Big Fry, I saw, made a video, and what I'm hearing around the streets, if you will, is there are concerns and mixed opinions about how the campaign is. I have even seen people call for it to be delayed. Now, I don't really think that's surprising, because if you remember, the studio that was making the Battlefield 6 campaign was actually shut down. It was headed by Marcus Leto, it was called Ridgeline Games, and he basically left Ridgeline Games and said he had nothing nice to say about working with EA, and then the studio was shut down. So, it's not exactly surprising the Battlefield 6 campaign is most likely massively behind schedule. Then, of course, there was that leak a couple weeks ago, maybe about a month ago at this point, showing a very unfinished cinematic for the campaign, signifying that it may be very behind schedule. Now, for me, the topic of the campaign is both simplistic and very complicated, because on one hand, I don't really care about the campaign, and I think a lot of people are in that same boat. However, I understand people wanting the campaign to be good. They see having a good campaign attached to a good multiplayer as receiving a full, polished AAA product, the complete package. If you're unsure about what Battlefield 6's campaign is supposed to be about, you are Dagger 13 Squad. You're sent in to essentially stop Pax Armada, which are the bad guys, and you are sent to do this over a period of 9 different missions that you can play, and you are sent all across the world from Gibraltar to Brooklyn. Obviously, this is a massive summary and oversimplification. However, that is the gist of what the Battlefield 6 campaign is. Now, there is a hardcore mode in the Battlefield 6 campaign. This will prevent you from being revived, which obviously makes the campaign significantly harder, and I have to imagine the damage is increased and maybe there's no HUD. Featured within the Battlefield 6 campaign are a bunch of campaign assignments that unlock skins and cosmetics, as well as you can collect dog tags within the campaign missions. So this is definitely putting an incentive into the campaign to play it. I think a lot of people are going to play the campaign specifically to get the collectibles. I want to say they did this in either Battlefield 4 or was it Battlefield 3? You can comment down below. I want to say it was Battlefield 4 with weapons that were locked behind the campaign for the multiplayer, and then Battlefield 3 had co-op missions that also unlocked things for the multiplayer. So there we have it with the campaign. I am maybe going to avoid learning too much about it. I did see creators post videos, but I haven't necessarily watched them all the way through. Maybe I'm saving the campaign for myself a little bit. I just want to have a fresh first impression for when I play it to give my thoughts on it. But I will say this right at the end of the video. If the Battlefield 6 campaign ends up being the least polished or the weakest aspect of Battlefield 6, I will consider that to be a complete win, considering how recent Battlefield titles have played out. If the multiplayer is successful, along with Portal retaining some level of success, along with the BR attaining some level of success happens, and then the campaign is the only really criticized failure, then that's completely fine with me. I just have to be honest. You can't really expect too much when the fucking studio that's making the campaign gets shut down mid-development. So if they manage to recover and pull off a big AAA campaign experience that people enjoy, good for them. I think that's an overall positive for the game. But if it doesn't end up that way, I don't think it's the worst case scenario. I think obviously the multiplayer being in a shit state would be way worse. So overall, I think we can all just hope that everything goes smoothly across all aspects of the game. Isn't that right, guys? We never have to play Battlefield 2042 again in 2 weeks, mind you, because as of this video being uploaded, I believe it is 2 weeks until October 10th, which is the release of BF6. Exciting stuff ahead. If you want to follow Battlefield 6 news and updates and guides and everything, hit that sub button, hit the like button, and let me know what you think about all this stuff in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Swing by the stream. I could be debating somebody in a spicy fashion right now. You never know. And I will see you guys in the next video.
fuck did that guy just do to them?